Y'all, I have no real friend group, and I am a grown 35-year-old. And so this is awkward. It's awkward because I think everyone assumes that by now you're supposed to have these things figured out. A part of adulting and lifing is that you have certain things in place. You have your friends in place, you've got your bills taken care of, if you are doing car things, you've got a car. If you are doing apartment things or house things, you've got your own apartment set or you're saving towards your home. If you're dating, you have someone whom you're dating, or you're already married. Like there's this sort of, I mean, we all are very familiar with the societal expectation of like you're an adult, these are the boxes that you check. And I think there's this sort of assumption that you'll just have friends, especially for us millennials who grew up in the era of like the shows that we were watching on TV. Oh, it was the star of the show, usually some woman with her friends, right? Like it was always been in a group. We grew up on Friends, right? Like we grew up on, I mean, I didn't personally watch Sex and the City, but this was like the era that we were in. Even the shows I was watching, like things like Lizzie McGuire or That's So Raven, or I mean, even later on when Hannah Montana came out on Disney, right? Like these things, these sorts of shows are all like the friend group. And so there's this assumption that you have this friend group when you're young and in school, and that friend group will be either the same or you'll still have a friend group when you're grown. And I think if I was to follow that societal expectation, Chelsea would have messed up from the get-go because Chelsea didn't really have a friend group in school. And then, so I had nothing to follow me into adulthood, and I still don't have one. So there you go. But we are working towards getting one. I've always wanted this. I've wanted people to do life with. I've wanted really solid female friendships in my life. And so your girl is working on it. Your girl is working on it. And today I wanted to share with you all four things that are really working for me to help me start to establish a friend group in my 30s. And these are things that I sort of shifted my perspective on. All because I was very clear that my goal was community and my goal was to be with people. And so if my goal is to be with people, there are certain things I can no longer wait for to happen. And I can no longer wait to be done by other people because it's not me owning my agency to support myself in achieving my goals. It's just waiting around on somebody else, hoping that they will somehow help me achieve my goals. Even though, do they even know my goals? Do they care about me? Like, don't they have other things going on? There's so much that like I think we sort of end up thinking about what other people should do or what other people you expect other people to do if they care about you, if they want to be friends with you, if they want to hang out with you. And I think those expectations go out the window when you're an adult because we each have so much going on. And we're trying to do this adulting thing and it's a whole show. Like it's a whole show, y'all. It's a production. Okay? There's a main event and there's a sideshow and they're both chaos. So, with that in mind, we're supposed to be the ringmaster here cracking the whip. Maybe we're not cracking whips around here. We don't that's not the vibe we're going for. We're going for, cozy, cozy chaotic. In any case, all I'm saying is me leaving a lot of the sort of whether or not friendships happen for me and whether or not a friend group happened for me up to other people never worked for me. It didn't work in college, it didn't work after college, so it's not going to work now. And I have to take agency and support myself in the ways that I know I can. And I can't just assume that just because somebody doesn't do something doesn't mean they wouldn't want to do it if I offered an opportunity. And so that has led me into these 4 things that I'm going to share with you today. So, without further ado, thing number 1 is just like dating. That yes, you heard me. You heard me correctly. Making friends as an adult is basically offline dating. It's dating IRL. And the reason why I say this is because I had watched a video about dating with Matthew Hussey. And I think he did this video several months ago now, maybe over a year ago. Maybe probably a year and a half, 2 years. It's been a while. In any case, I watched this video. Actually, it was right about the time where I think he was coming out with Matthew AI. And so this would have been about a year ago, I think, or several months ago. And he did a video talking about ways that you can meet people in real life, offline, not using the apps. And one of the key things that he said that really went like, oh, this is really obvious, but nobody has ever said this to me, so it didn't quite make sense at the time. What he said was, you have to figure out places that you can frequent, places that you can go to multiple times and be seen by potential suitors multiple times. And I was like, that makes sense. Like this is why the gym situation is the gym situation. Like this is why we like gym crushes are a thing. Right? Because you see the same person, or like the cafe crushes. I don't know if y'all have ever seen, there's this creator who was living in I don't remember where in South Korea she was living at the time. She just moved to Seoul, but she had a whole thing with this barista, with this Korean barista. Like, and so many people were on top of that relationship, the flirting, the will they, won't they. It was a whole thing. But the reason why that any of that could happen in the first place is because she kept showing up at the man's cafe, right? And so there's an element of like, nah, you gotta show up. You gotta be seen. You have to be a real person, and people have to see your face, your voice, your mannerisms, like hear your voice, see your mannerisms, see how you relate to people before they're even interested in getting to know you, much less getting to consider you a potential friend, or a potential to join their friend group, right? Like that kind of thing is just, it's obvious, but no one really says it. And when Matthew said this about dating, I was like, this makes sense. And I think actually it really served me, because when he said that, he also made the caveat of like, but you're not going to these places to find a partner or even find potential dates. You're going to these places because you like these places, because these are the places that you would be going to anyway if you left your house and actually did the things that you wanted to do in the world. There are actual things that you enjoy, and you would be frequenting those places that you enjoy, that have the things you enjoy: activities, people, hobbies, supplies, etc. Right? And so because of that, basically you outside. You do outsiding. You do the outsiding thing. And I was like, yeah, people have been telling me to outside for years. I have resisted. I have consistently resisted the outsiding. And so, okay, fine. I mean, I know I'm shooting myself in the foot already with the friendship thing, but apparently I'm shooting myself in the foot with the dating thing too. So fine, Chelsea will outside. And start saying in 2025, Chelsea was outsiding. Chelsea is still outsiding. And I think being frequently seen, and he was talking about in the same place, but actually Jamaica is, especially Kingston, Kingston and St. Andrew are very small in terms of network and people. It's a very small world. And so if you go to multiple events, you're likely to see the same people everywhere. And so this serves me in a way, not forgetting the dating story, because that's not necessarily what I'm looking for right now. But even just looking at the potential friendships and potential friend groups, like me being seen in multiple places by the same people over and over, cements me in their minds as like, oh yeah, Chelsea's a real person. Chelsea has these mannerisms. Chelsea relates to people in this kind of way. Chelsea is related to this person, right? Chelsea knows these people. This kind of thing. These, like, the more they see you, the more facts about you they are able to take in and actually remember, and remember because they have some kind of like emotional connection to. Whether it is I was hanging around with them at an event like a concert that we went to, or we're dancing, or we're having fun, or we were laughing together, and we took several selfies, like, and they associate me with the good time that they had, right? And so now they have an emotional connection to me as a person existing in the world. And so if I, for example, move to step 2, which is actually being the first one to reach out to somebody, that's step number 2. That's really working for me right now. When I move to step 2 and I ask someone I know for their number and I reach out to them and I say, hey, this is Chelsea, saying hi, saying how you're doing, had a great time when we went out to so-and-so the other day. Or I look at their WhatsApp stories and I laugh at something that they posted, right? Like, then it's not weird. Then it's not some random girl that I don't even remember where she come from just messaging me out of the blue. Then it's like, no, Chelsea, I saw her at this thing, we had a good time, and now she's messaging me, cool. And I can answer her if I'm in an answering mood. And if I'm not in an answering mood, I just do a thumbs up emoji, or I don't even answer her, and I see her at the next thing that we go to, because there's another thing coming up soon, right? That kind of vibe. I feel like that frequenting that I'm doing is really allowing me to form those preliminary bonds in my friendships. And in a way, it sort of sets the framework for a kind of social confidence, in the sense that, like, confidence to do the outreach, confidence to do the vulnerable thing, and be the first person to walk up to someone and say hello, whether that is physically in person or it is virtually via text or a WhatsApp message or DM or whatever that looks like, right? Because this also translates to in person. Like, when people have seen me multiple places, then when I walk up to them to say hi, it's not like a, who are you again? Face in their heads, because they're probably going to try to play it off, but in their mind they don't remember me, right? But that's not going to be the case anymore, because I'm frequenting places and they're seeing me in the same places that they go to now, right? And so when I walk up to them to say hi, it's like, oh my gosh, Chelsea, how are you? Hug, how you doing? Right? Like that kind of thing, or a side hug. Maybe we're not close enough yet to do to a regular hug, so we do like the side one. But that kind of thing can start to happen, and those in-person interaction, those initial interactions, whether they are in person or online, don't end up being awkward, don't end up being very stilted, and also don't end up being like, I don't end up psyching myself out wondering if I'm going to be awkward, or if this is going to be just weird, if they're going to remember me, if they're going to recognize me. No, we've said hello multiple times. I've been to the same things that they've been to. They're going to know my face, right? And so that first step really serves that second step. And then this second step, like, they see you multiple times, you say hi multiple times, really serves the third step, which for me has been actually being the first to issue the invitation. And I have only done this a couple different times. I haven't leaned all the way into this yet, but what I have seen and what has really worked for me is paying attention to the things that I want to go to. Again, Jamaica is a really small community. Kingston and St. Andrews, like, especially when you are going to Christian types of events, it's a very tight-knit, tiny community. People know people. And if you don't know somebody, you're connected to somebody who knows somebody, right? And so I think what ends up happening is I can start to realize, okay, these are the kinds of events that I want to go to. And I can then say, all right, well, I don't know if I want to go by myself. I can ask somebody. And I've asked, I think, at least 2 people. I've issued at least 2 invites, one last year, one this year. So again, this is something that I'm like, it's not like a full-on practice yet, but the fact that I issued the invites and one got a positive response, one got an and it didn't end up working out. But the fact that I issued the invites was really, I think, a bold move on my part, because when I think about how I feel when people invite me to stuff, I feel included. I feel, oh yeah, like they actually remembered who I am and wanted me to be with them in this thing. And that's a really, I don't even know what the word is for that. Affirming, validating, welcoming, secure kind of a feeling. The implicit communication in an invitation is, I thought specifically of you and I want you there. And that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to give someone. Like, your presence is valued to me, and I want it with me when I experience this thing. How precious! How precious! And I think, actually, as somebody who has always wanted to be seen and known and belong and be in community, to have somebody issue me an invitation is so um it's kind of like, you are sitting in a room and you're hoping for something to come into the room. You're hoping, you're praying, you're not really sure if it's coming, you're waiting for a while, you're not really sure if it's getting here or not, and then it finally comes, and it's like oh like that kind of feeling. Like, all of my hopes and desires were not in vain, and I can see the fulfillment of these things right in front of me. I can feel it, I can touch it, I can smell it, I can taste it, I can experience it in all its fullness. And I think that is the power of an invitation. And so if we can like give that to the people that we want to be friends with, it's such a huge green flag of like, hey, your presence actually matters to me. And even though we're not on that level yet, I want you here. I would love to have you with me. And there's almost like if there are scales and one is safe and one is unsafe. I did another video talking about safety in friendships, but like, this tips the balance towards safety. Like, say the safety side gets heavier, because we start. It might not be fully safe because, again, we're not in deep relationship with this person, but it's like, oh no, like if I go and I'm interested, they're signaling their interest, they want me there. This could be really cool. I feel somewhat safe with this person to explore this particular thing that we would then be doing together. And I think that's a really powerful thing. And so, as I said, I issued 2 invitations, one earlier this year, and another one last year. The one last year was not quite a good fit because the person wasn't interested in the event that I was going to. The one this year, we're both for sure interested, and it's not really an event. This is more of like a hang. But I need to do step number 4. And step number 4 is actually following up. And I think it's really, really easy to not follow up because, again, as I started this video by saying, adulting. We are all out here ringmasters of our chaotic main event and sideshow, and it's a situation for every single one of us. And so I think that's part of why a lot of us don't have friend groups. For those of us that don't, it's because we're just too dang busy. And it's very comfortable where we are, even if we don't want to be in that place. And so it's really easy to just stay there. Just leave me here, bro. Like, I'm good. It's all right. I could just do my life, go to work. As a matter of fact, if you have your own business, I could just stay home, work, maybe do one thing outside my house, like go get groceries every week. And you don't even necessarily have to do that. Maybe go take a walk. And then I come home and life goes on. you know? Like, I don't have to have a whole friend group. I don't have to be in community. I don't have to have people. Even though low key we want people. We desperately want people. And I think adulting just kind of steals that desire and opportunity from us in a way. And if you decide that friendships and community and a friend group are what you want, I think actually following up and taking that agency, taking that power of choosing to intentionally reach out again, right, is a is something that we get to take back from the chaotic circus of adulting that we each run in our own lives. And I think too that it's really easy for adulting to steal this because we know the intimate nature of the chaos that we run in our own lives. So we assume everybody else's life is just as chaotic. And so they're busy. They don't got no time to talk to me or hang out with me. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to impose. I don't want to make anything hard for anyone. And so I invited them. They said they were interested, but they haven't gotten back to me. It's okay. I'll just let it drop. Nah, boo, don't let it drop. Don't let it drop. Don't drop the ball. Keep running with it. Check in again. Check in again. Check in again. And as a matter of fact, here's my stance on this, right? Keeping in mind that I haven't fully tested this yet, but also acknowledging that Chelsea's awkward and I'm okay with it. I quite enjoy being awkward in relationships. So when I say awkward, what I really mean is I will say what's on my mind, even though I calculate that this is going to be there's potential for me to be laughed at here. There's potential for people to think I'm weird, to think that excuse me, to think that this is an unusual statement to make, or these are unusual interests to have. I'm very well aware. That's fine. And quite honestly, I enjoy it that way. And so, if I will usually say random things or things that feel random to the people who are listening because my interests and perspectives are a bit out there compared to compared to most people that I know. And so I think like actually I don't remember where I was going to with that. I don't remember where I was going with that. But what I really wanted to say was that there is a world and a scenario where just because we are intimately familiar with the chaos that we know happens in our lives, um like we assume it's the case for everybody else. It's not. And even if it is, that doesn't mean people don't want to be interrupted. And let them welcome your chaos. Let the chaotic worlds intermingle for a hot second. Like you never know what friendship, what relationship, what learnings can come out of those moments. And I think that the follow-up is so powerful because actually, this is where I was going with the weird stuff earlier. So I gave that disclaimer to say I will fully say, hey, if this is awkward, just let me know. I know it's kind of awkward because like you're busy and it's obvious that you have a lot going on. So let me know if it's too much. I will fully acknowledge that. And I know it's not something to say per se. People, there's a sort of vulnerability to acknowledging that you are being awkward and you know you're being awkward, but you're going to continue to be awkward. There's a sort of like, I know I'm on the back foot. I'm already here. I'm just gonna keep going. Like I'm rolling down the hill. I can't stop myself. So I'll lean into it and just keep rolling until I get to the bottom. Right? That's the kind of vibe that I will adapt because I'm just like, yo, it don't if you weren't gonna handle me being weird anyway, it didn't matter. We were not gonna be deep friends anyway. So I'm cool with being weird. I'm cool with being awkward. I'm cool with feeling like, and not even feeling like, having my inner critic yell at me that I'm annoying people, that I'm bugging people, that I'm being too much of like a mosquito in people's ears. I'm okay with that. And the reason why I'm okay with that is because I think I have acknowledged the truth that everyone can give their own no. I don't have to give it for you. And it's not my responsibility to give it for you. And I would never want you to give my no for me. I get to choose my no, as do you. And that is a sort of leftover conditioning that I had to undo and learn this new reality or the actual truth because I was trying to manipulate people's like reactions to me. And so I was trying to keep myself safe by giving their no on their behalf so I wouldn't feel rejected, right? And therefore manipulate their responses to be a safe place for me. Meanwhile, I have come up with this whole story in my head about how they're annoyed. They don't want to be my friend. They don't want to be in relationship with me. I have to do more to make them like me. I have to not be so weird. Blah 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 blah. A whole story in my mind. Meanwhile, they just have life. They just have life going on. And they actually do want to hang out with me. They literally just forgot. They have kids probably. Like they've got businesses to run. They've got teams to lead. They've got ish. It's fine. It's fine to do the quote unquote annoying thing and complete the follow up and follow up several times until they give you their no. That then you're good, right? Then you've done your job because then you have an answer. It's kind of like it's a little bit like sales in business. Like you don't if a lead is has not yet said no to you, right? You keep following up more or less, unless they're really, really ghosting you. But I mean, especially if you see the person again and they're still warm and friendly to you, especially if they message you back once and say, "Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about this. I soon get back to you. Ping me again." Like I've had people say that to me. Hey, ping me again in a month's time. Okay. My brain, I don't have brain space and capacity for this right now, but I want to do this. I want to talk to you about this. So ping me again. Or they'll say, "Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. Let me get back to you." And then they won't get back to me. And it's my job to here's what my job is in this position. It's my job to stay true to what my goals are and to my commitment to support myself in my goals as much as is possible. Friendship is a two-way street. I can't control whether or not somebody wants to be a friend to me, but I can control when and how I express my interest in being a friend to someone. And as long as I can control it, I will control it. And so I will not, especially if I'm getting signs that like it's just because life is busy right now. If I get that information, I will keep following up with you. And it won't be a follow up necessarily about our link, maybe. Then it will start to change. Like, I might check in on how you're doing. I might check in on how the kids are. I might check in on how business is going. Like, staying, and I guess this is number 5, unplanned number 5, bonus. Staying in the communication rotation of someone, even if life is busy for them, I think is really helpful because then people know you're thinking about them. And sure, there is. I mean, immediately again, my inner critic voice is loud and it's just like, well, Chelsea, you don't want to make them feel guilty for not responding to you. You're always reaching out to them and they're not reaching out to you. You don't want to make them feel guilty. Bruh, I can't police nobody's emotions. That's not my responsibility. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And if I really want to just not be overly responsible, because being overly responsible would be like drawing the conclusion and not reaching back out again and saying I don't want them to feel guilty, so I won't even talk to them. That's my over responsibility showing up. That's not what this room is for. I cannot be overly responsible for somebody else's stuff, right? For their agency and them exercising their agency. I can't take that's not okay for me to take that away from them. And so The word is not over responsible in that scenario. If I were to be, maybe the word is more considerate, I would let that hang out in the room of our conversation, and be like, hey, look, I know I've been messaging you a lot. Don't feel no way if you're not responding to me. Like, I get that life is busy right now, and I'm happy to keep messaging you. I just want you to know I'm thinking about you, and I care about you, and I'm praying for you. It don't got to be no big deal. I'm not responsible for how they feel. And so my only job here, my one job, is to stay true and follow through on what it takes to support myself in reaching my goal of having a friend group as much as I can, right? What how people respond to me is their business, not mine. So these are the 4/5 things that have been helping me establish a friend group in my 30s. I would love to hear about your experience of trying to establish a friend group in your 30s. If you've ever had a friend group when you were younger and maybe you lost them, or you have a friend group now and they're great, how did you find them? Share your tips in the comments. If you are in a position where you're wanting a friend group and any of these tips were helpful for you, I'd love to hear that as well. Sound off in the comments, or the link to DM me directly so we can have a one-on-one chat is in the description box below as well. And I do answer the messages that I get, so feel free to reach out to me. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us for today's video. I will see you in the next one. Take care.